So on Hannah's way over here, her Uber driver stopped to take a shit.
Yeah. I don't even know if it was a shit. This is the thing. It was fairly quick.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just like pulled over. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. I was like, okay, well, we're like 5 minutes from the destination, so like can't you like hit this on the way back?
What's his rating? Did you check?
I don't know, but I'm giving him 1 star.
Yeah.
For taking a shit.
I once had a driving instructor that made me drive through the Tim Hortons drive-through for him to like get a coffee.
That's insane.
And then my friends like actually learned how to drive, and my mom was like, why don't you know how to drive? And I was like, I can get us coffee.
Yeah, I know how to order. I know how close I have to be from the window for this to work.
So we actually did not do most pathetic thing for a man last week because we got a little overwhelmed that Monica didn't know where her clit and asshole were.
Oh yeah, the feedback, everyone was like, that is insane.
Did people say that to you?
Yes, I had 3 people reach out and be like, how is this girl functioning? I was like, honestly, I don't know.
I love how when we do episodes and like you say something insane or I say something insane, my friends will reach out to me about you and be like, is she okay?
Yeah.
And then when I say something insane, your friends are like, is she okay? And we're like, both know.
But both know, and both of our friends just know ourselves well enough that when I'm like, me and 2 other gals got a boy's name tattooed on us, they're like, oh, Hannah.
Oh, Hannah.
Like, roll their eyes.
I know. My friends are like, oh, yeah, like,
that's
clit. That's Monica. And your friends are like, she's not okay.
Yeah. The asshole thing, though, last week, Monica revealed that she didn't know about assholes until she was 14. But you know what I was thinking? I was like, I think that was a thing when I was really little. To be fair, I figured it out. Like, I don't have a specific memory of finding my asshole, but I was like, right, when I was like really, really little, I just thought it was like a butt. You know, like it was just a full butt, 2 cheeks.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's going on in there? Who knows? But I'm pretty sure I found my asshole by like age 5.
Yeah. I guess no one tells you.
No, I don't have a specific memory about it. I just think I like figured it out.
Yeah.
But I was thinking on it. I was like, oh, I kind of get where she was coming from on that one.
I guess they just assume that you're going to figure it out, which I did. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like in sex ed, they're not going to teach you like, this is an asshole.
No, they're like, we have to start somewhere, you know? You know,
some base knowledge.
Yeah, they can't be like, you're a human being. Yeah. And Monica's like, oh
shit. So my most pathetic thing of the week that I've done for a man. So this is the same man if you skip back to episode 1 when I asked him, what do you like most about me? And he said, I like that my dog likes you. This guy.
Shout out to that guy's dog.
Shout out to that guy's dog. Miss the dog. This guy, I actually think hated me. So there's something called TIFF, which is the Toronto International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. And TIFF was coming to town when we were dating. And I was like, oh, are you going to TIFF? Or like, TIFF's like, I just brought up TIFF. And he goes, yeah, I was going to go to TIFF with my friend, but my friend cannot go. So I'm going to go alone.
You're like, anyone else you could go with?
I'm like,
anyone at all?
I'm like, are we dating? Or are we not dating?
That was definitely his way of being like, oh, by the way, I don't like you.
Yeah, so
I don't like hanging out with you.
So I was like, okay. And then he was a really big fan of Bo Burnham, and we watched Bo Burnham's special together. I'm not the biggest fan. He's like a white man that cries about life, like, get over it, you know? But I watched it. It was fine. So Bo Burnham's movie or something was coming to Toronto, and I was like, oh, maybe we could see it together. And he's like, Monica, Bo Burnham is like really special to me. Like, Bo Burnham is like really important, and I just like, I love him so much that like I'm gonna go to this alone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll literally just go like fuck myself.
But it is just like a movie.
It's legitimately a movie of a white man making jokes.
Wait, what movie was it?
I think it was like his COVID special or something. Oh,
that one?
Yeah. And it, for some reason, was showing in theaters for like one day in Toronto.
And he wanted to see it alone.
Yeah. And I'd like to let the public know I do not talk during movies.
I would see, okay, I can see his perspective a little, only because we recently saw a play together and you walked out.
Okay.
So that I can see, just
No, but I wouldn't walk out of the movie. Like, I knew what I was getting myself into.
If you had hated it, what would have been your reaction after?
Well, at this point, I was like, this man hates me.
I loved it.
It was okay.
See, it can be a little annoying.
So Hannah sides with my ex. That's an interesting perspective.
Well, it is, but I also, it's hard because it's like a movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's a special or whatever. But even so, had he already seen it?
Yes.
Ew! No.
Like, it's
No. That's insane.
It's the one that was like on fucking the internet
and
or whatever.
And he'd already seen it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to watch it.
But it was coming to like theaters for a day.
So lame.
And I had seen it too, and I like enjoyed parts of it. So I knew what I would be getting myself into.
I thought he was watching it for the first time. The fact that had you both watched it together?
Yes.
Oh my God. I think he just needed 2 hours alone from you. And he was like, you're going to ruin this for me?
He didn't say you're going to ruin it for me, but he's like, this is like a spiritual experience for me.
It's not. Rewatching it.
And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll just go do fucking comedy myself.
Yeah.
Which I did. We ended up breaking up, I think, less than a week after that, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
So it was the end. I kept saying Bo Burnham. And like at one point he was like, it's Bo Burnham. Like he like lost his mind.
Yeah, like when you're at the end of a relationship and something that small makes you want to like.
Yeah, like the guy that you
light
actually
the
want to
house
fuck.
on fire. Yeah.
Like not your girlfriend, the guy that you actually want to fuck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's pronouncing his name wrong. You're like, get the fuck out.
Crazy. So cringy, kind of.
It's so cringy.
To be like, you don't like Bo Burnham enough, so I'm going to watch this alone. But then at the same time, I'm like, hey, fine, set a boundary. Set your Bo Burnham boundary.
There were a lot of boundaries.
Like that, I guess, like if you have to do that.
There were a lot of boundaries. It was basically like, I don't like you was the boundary.
But I had an ex that would do this. This was terrible. He would do this shit, but with his friends and family. Like that was the one story I told on the past podcast, was he would go to like family events and be like, you're not invited. And I'm like, are we dating? Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
No, my ex was the same. Was like, I remember thinking like, okay, his priorities are literally number 1, his dog. Mm-hmm. Number 2, his friends. Number 3, his family. Mm-hmm. Number 4, his work. Mm-hmm. Numbers 5 to 100, miscellaneous.
Bo Burnham has to be in there.
Bo Burnham, right, is numbers 5 to 100. And then like maybe 101, if he feels like it, me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a common thing with women too, is like feeling like they're not a priority.
Huge. He would also go to fun events without me.
Yeah.
Hang out with his friends, go to clubs.
Yeah.
Go to concerts. And I'd be like, oh.
No, literally.
Here I am.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah, no, I just kind of want to do this without you. I don't know if he's like cheating on me. Maybe that was part of it. It's like he wanted to fuck girls in these groups.
Yeah.
Because then he would just tell me about the funnest times that he had at all these things. And
you're
be
like, oh, nice.
Well, I like those things too.
Yeah, I enjoy having fun.
Yeah. And he was just like,
We haven't spoken about Taylor Swift in a few weeks, but she's had a hectic...
Yeah.
She's had a hectic little while.
Yeah.
Do you think that her and Travis Kelce are just for publicity?
I don't think so.
I don't really think so either. Because I don't think either of them need the publicity.
No, I don't think so. But like part of it is like he is kind of a dumb jock. She can dress him up however she wants or whatever, but he's been famous. Like we know who he is. So that's why it's not like...
Well, I didn't know who he was, but people do. In the
my football friend knows who he is.
Right.
And he was like he knew before the girls knew.
Interesting.
From the boy. He's like, there's rumors on the football field that Taylor Swift is dating this person.
Right.
So the boys knew before the girls.
Interesting.
Yes. And I was like, oh, interesting. And he knew everything about it. Like he was already famous. This guy's already famous, Travis. And so he was like, he was just like showing me clips of past speeches he's given, his dating show, tweets. He's a dum-dum.
Right. The tweets, he really was dumb in the tweets.
Did you see his like Viva Las Vegas thing?
When he was really drunk?
Yeah. And Taylor's like, that's my man.
I know.
I love that moment. When he's like screaming Viva Las Vegas and everyone's like, look at Taylor's face. I'm like, Yeah, like that. But like she knows he's dumb.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I feel like they're a good match because he's not intimidated by her and her fame and her success. Whereas I feel like the guys she's dated
literally
in the past,
every other guy I think has been intimidated by it.
Well, the guys she's dated in the past are all like artsy and like alternative and like, "Ugh, like I'm too cool for the mainstream, blah, blah, blah." Whereas like Travis just seems to be embracing it. And she looks so happy to finally have this energy in her life where he's just like, I'm just excited.
Yeah, I think because he's so successful in his own way and it's completely different than art.
Right.
It's like he's like, okay, like go do your Eras tour. Like you can, like she can do whatever, and he's like, you go, girl.
Yeah, it's
and
really
then he's
nice.
like, I'm just gonna keep getting fucking punches to the head on the football field.
It's kind of inspiring because it's like she was with this guy for 6 years. She probably tried so hard to make it work. He was probably so pissed about certain things. And then like it was probably so hard for her to break up with him because she was like, well, you know, like I'm going to be with him. But then she did. And now she's found this guy that like works for her, you know? So never be scared to dump the man that you're with.
I mean, that's what I thought too. I'm like, she didn't predict this.
Yeah, like never settle.
Not only that, but it's like she did like her Eras tour, new album,
right,
new boyfriend, all like at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, it wasn't just about the guy. It was just about doing what was right for her in her whole life.
Yeah.
I think. And then she took these risks and they worked.
Yeah.
Like even the Eras tour is a huge risk.
That's what I'm trying to learn is just like do what's right for you.
Oh, girl, me too.
And just screw everyone else. So now we're moving on to our Menty Breaky Queen of the Week. And I'm very excited because it is one of our fans.
That's laughing.
I'll edit it to cheers.
No, keep it as people laughing. They're laughing that we have a single fan.
Yeah.
It is our fan. That's really rude, guys. You can stop laughing.
Our fan sent us in. I don't think it's most pathetic thing they've done for a man, but I think it's super Menty Breaky. So basically our friend, our fan.
She gave it away that it's not a fan, it's a friend.
Well, she is a fan. She's both. Anyways.
At this point, our fans are quite exclusively friends and family.
A lot of them that are worried about us as well.
You know what? We might have some random fans.
Yeah.
Our biggest fans.
Yeah.
Are also our best friends.
Our biggest friend.
And our mothers.
Would we ever befriend a fan? Of course.
Of course.
They already
are.
Literally. So
would we ever sleep with a fan? Of course. They're our ex-boyfriends.
Yeah. So my friend recently started dating more seriously. She's been on Hinge and she's been overwhelmed by it and she didn't know what to do. So what she decided to do was go to a medium to ask, I guess, people in the afterlife why she cannot find her ancestors, why she is single, and why she cannot find a boyfriend.
That's great.
And that, my friends.
Do you know if they gave her an answer?
Maybe I'll get that for next week. I
would love to know what they said.
I just find that so fucking funny because we were talking and she goes, you know, if I can't find an answer here, I may as well summon the afterlife.
Yeah. Truly, I feel like that's so, like, it's either that or therapy. And you're like, well, I'll try this first.
I'll try this first.
You're like, I'd rather talk to my great-great-grandma than a therapist.
It's just so fucking funny. Like, imagine going to a medium. She, like, summons the fucking afterlife of your ancestors and they're like, we're so happy to see you, like we're so proud of you, and you're just like, why can't I get dick?
Yeah. I feel like anytime, this is such a girl thing though, anytime that you're like summoning the occult, it is on behalf of a man. Like, is that not true?
Like, you pull out a fucking Ouija board.
Ouija board, tarot cards, mediums, astrology. You're always like, but what about the guy I like? Like, that's true for me. Like, anytime I'm like reading my horoscope, I'm like, I don't care about my job. It's like, you will be successful at work. I'm like, I could give a fuck. You're like, am I going to get laid by my crush or not?
Do you always like look up your compatibility with your crush's compatibility? Like,
guys don't do this for women.
always do it.
Yeah, of course you do.
I type in their birthday.
Yeah, but actually sometimes I don't even look up the compatibility because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But I just know, I tell myself, I'm like, we're super compatible. Like, I'll be like, oh, he's a Pisces, very compatible.
No,
and
like,
I'm like, I haven't done any research. I just know. Water and water sign, 2 water signs, we flow. But I will I'm wet. I won't do any research. So I don't want to look it up because then I'm scared it's going to be like very incompatible.
Well, we're both Scorpios.
Yeah. Do you know what signs we're supposed to get along with?
Well, we get along with Pisces and other Scorpios mainly. But I find that every time I look up my sign compatibility with another sign, it's always like Scorpios are jealous and possessive and terrible humans, so it will not work in love. And I'm just like,
interesting.
Well, what the heck?
My most successful relationships have been with Scorpios and Pisces.
My most painful relationships have been with Scorpios.
Well, they didn't work out, so yes to that as well. But I mean, my longest ones have been with Scorpios. Both
the Scorpios that I dated are now marrying my friends.
Oh.
Menty Breaky. Yeah. So I just found that absolutely hilarious. Like, it's like not going to therapy.
Are we not going to touch on that?
Oh, do you want to touch on that?
Yes, dropped a bomb.
I'm just like chicks over dicks, you know? Like, if you're happy, whatever.
Yeah. I get that as someone who loves sleeping with her friends.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes they end up marrying other friends.
Sometimes
or like dating or whatever.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, well, that's what happens when you do this.
Like, there's overflow.
It would be weird if like you met them on an app and then they were like,
and
oh,
no
I'm actually gonna
No, me and my friends, we all date the same guys on the apps. We're like, have you dated him? I'm like, yes. Have you dated him? They're like, yes.
Oh, true. If you have a small community.
Not even just that,
group.
just like in the city.
True, that's true.
Like, we're all on the same.
Like, to be fair, that's now that we're comics, that's what it is. Like, heavily what it is. And you just have to be okay with it. Or not to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Or have it be a really big problem.
Yeah, just have it be a big problem.
That's what I prefer. I'm like, what if
I love making things
I
problems.
made this into a huge problem?
What if I just start like created the drama? What if I just let my internal emotions of pain just run rampant and spread fire amongst every social situation I'm in?
Yeah.
I'll be lit.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
No, I've tried that. It didn't really work.
Yeah, and instead you're like, fine, you guys can get married.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you want to fucking get married? I'll bought them cutting boards for their engagement party.
And you're like, what are you going to chop on there? My heart?
Already did. That was a good one, Hannah. I enjoyed that. Would you go to a medium if you were having like dating problems to summon your ancestors?
The amount that I have to fight myself from just like fully giving into that lifestyle. Like every time I see a fluorescent sign for a medium, I'm like, don't do it. Because when you open that fucking door, I know myself and I won't come back.
Yeah.
Tarot cards, astrology, I just won't allow myself.
Same.
Because I'm like, the second I just buy a single book, it's going to be game over.
It's going to be over, baby.
Pew! I'll be fully an insane person.
Well, because anything they say, I'm going to hold on to forever, no doubt. Like if they're like, you're going to have 5 kids.
Be like, she knows.
I'm going to be like, where are my 5 kids?
Oh, yeah.
If they're going to be like, you're not going to get married, I'm going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, and then I won't, like, it'll be done.
Yeah. And even when my friends go, I'm like, tell me every detail. Because I'm like, I can't allow myself to do it. But anytime my friend sees a medium or anything, I'm like, start to finish, don't leave anything out.
Okay, but
like,
question. Would you go to a medium, not for a general overview of your life, but go to ask a specific question, like, why am I single? To summon your ancestors just for that specific question.
Of course I would do this. Like, of course. Like, I'm holding myself back.
Yeah.
It's so tough. There's a medium that comes to my work like once every few months, and she charges a lot of money, but we get a 50% discount.
Oh shit.
All the employees go to her.
Yeah.
I also don't, it sounds like I work at like a hair salon. No, I work at a very high-end hotel.
Yeah.
In fact, the best in the city,
Yeah.
the top-rated hotel in the city.
Yeah.
And we have a medium come in once every 3 months. And then guests, like people that live at the hotel, will go see her, and then the employees will go see her. And I'll find all the employees that have seen her this time. I'll be like, what did she say to you? Tell me everything she said to you. And they're like, just go. I'm like, no, I can't.
Do they find that it's like real? Are they like, oh,
mixed
these
reviews? Mixed reviews.
Right.
So some people really swear by her, and then other people are like, she's a scammer. I think she's a scammer because she asks us for the list of everyone that's going to see her that day.
Oh, so she
First and
does
last
social
name.
media on them.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's
She
a
must.
scam.
But then other people are like, she told me things that there's no way, that it's not on social media, blah, blah, blah. There's no fucking way.
I actually once heard this story about this, my friend who saw a medium, or my friend's friend, and they were like, we're connecting with your grandmother who's telling you that there's a duffel bag with $7,000 in this place in your house. And they went and there was.
Stuff like that is
Like,
so
what the
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, like the grandfather left that for them and I guess died before they could like tell them or something. But there actually was a duffel bag with $7,000.
Yeah. Do you think it's real?
I don't know. I can't see it getting this far with it being not real. Like, I can't see it being this big and popular and being like an ongoing thing in the world without it being somewhat real.
But there is, like, mentalists exist, right?
Yeah.
And that is a science, though. They've just learned to read people so well that it seems like they're just coming up with, like, they're pulling it from your brain. But really, it's just like, you know, every little tick on your body. But then if it's like something like that, what is that?
I don't know. Or like, did someone just make up that story?
Someone may have made up that story.
To like spread that, you know?
Yeah. I had a story. Okay, this one happened to me, and I told it to someone recently. They're like, that's so likely to. I'm like, you're wrong.
Okay.
I had a dream once where I was in Germany, which is weird. I'd never been to Europe. I had no connection to Europe at this point. And in my dream, I was in Germany, and I knew it was Germany because I was like looking at this map of Germany. I was seeing like German places, and the entire dream, I couldn't catch the train. The whole dream, I was getting more and more frustrated. I was trying harder and harder. Right up until the end, I couldn't get on the train. I missed it 20 times in a row. And then the next day I was driving to work, and they were like, there's been a massive explosion on a train in Germany and all these people died. Whoa. Isn't that weird? Thank you. That's the reaction I wanted.
That is weird. How could that not be weird?
I told someone recently, they're like, yeah, that's likely to
That's
happen.
literally not likely at all.
Right?
Who the fuck said that? Your ex that didn't like you? He's like, I don't like you, and like you don't have any insight into the world.
Right? I'm like, let me just have this. Let me have
Give me
one
thing. Yeah.
Thank you for that reaction.
This is I don't know what that was. There you go. I don't think I would go to a medium to find out why I was single.
You go, that's what your therapist is for.
Yeah, I have a really good therapist. Shout out to my therapist. She listens to every episode. So I was telling my friend that my therapist listens to this podcast, and she was like, yeah, someone told me that. And she was like, oh, it's you, because I listened to your podcast and you said it on the podcast.
That's so funny.
So thank you to all our listeners
who are actually listening.
To all of you.
It really is like a conversation.
We applaud you. We love you. It is a conversation. Write in with your Menty Breaky stories. We'll keep you guys anonymous.
Yes, please write in with stories. We'll keep you anonymous. Are you pathetic for men? Are you asking mediums why you're single?
I've heard of a lot of people saying, I love listening to you talk about pathetic things because it makes me think about my pathetic things, and then I feel less alone. And
for sure. I mean, this is why it kind of started.
Yeah.
Because I was just like telling my friends like pathetic things I'd done for men once, and they were not making me feel good. They were making me feel bad.
That is not what we do at Menty Breaky. We make you feel good about being pathetic.
We stand by you.
We stand by you and your pathetic
Are you
moves.
driving 4 hours for a boy that does not like you?
Yes.
Is he not letting you go see Bo Burnham at TIFF?
Yes.
Right in,
babies.
Because we stand by you.
One of my friends was like, why did Hannah drive 4 hours for this guy? Like, I don't get it. And I'm like, because That is who we are at Menty Breaky.
We
drive
are.
for men. We get tattoos. We shave our vages.
Yeah, shave our vages in bars.
We shave our vages in bars.
We alter our minds, bodies, and we give up our time is the main thing.
But at the end of the day, we're the winners because now we have a fucking podcast.
And fans.
And each other and a beautiful Menty Breaky community. So thanks everyone. That I tried to end on a funny point, but now we're sentimental. So we're just gonna go with the flow, put in a little and that's been Menty Breaky, everybody. Tuning out.
Tuning out?
What should we say?
Is that a thing? Tuning out.
Some people will say zooming out on a Zoom.
Oh God.
Logging off.
Is that your dad?
Yeah. Goodbye.